All right, hello everyone. Welcome to another session. This is regarding July Daily Challenges number 8. It's called Queen's Life, and it's again an interesting question. A few of you got. In fact, I think after day 7, a lot of people stopped trying out because the questions got more and more difficult. This is a simple application of backtracking in this question. There are multiple other ways to do it also, but I'll just explain the backtracking way of how you can do this question. So before I start, just a couple of things to everybody. This is part of the daily challenges that we were doing in the month of July, the initial month of July. This is challenge number 8. But for more information on how you can prepare for Code Vita, you can sign up for the Edist Code Vita course on this link. There's an early bird offer that's going on. You will get it for 2499 instead of 2999. So do join up and take full benefit of that. We have all these concepts covered that we're covering in July daily challenges. To take full use of these concepts, they'll be really helpful for you. And more information is available on this link as you go there. Today's question we are going to do is has come in Code Vita 2019, but it's actually not in Code Vita 2019 round 1. This is actually a round 2 question. So for those of you who are able to solve it, congratulations to you. It's actually around 2 questions, and it just shows you that your level is improving. It's not a round 1, although you can expect this as the 5th question of round 1. So yeah, that's just something for your information over there. So let's get started with our question right away. I'll just open it up on the Edist platform. Just give me a minute. So yeah, this is the question on the Edist platform. You can also get it over here. It's called Challenge 8 in the July Daily Challenges. It's called A Queen's Life. So here we're given a chessboard, and we're supposed to basically, if you guys all know how chessboards work, how chess works, queens can be placed in a certain way, and we're supposed to find what's the most number of queens that we can kill by just using one queen. Okay, what do I mean by that? Let's first understand over here. What we are given is an 8 by 8. That's what 8 means here. An 8 by 8 chessboard with 9 queens. That's what 9 queens 9 means here. So n cross m. N is the n by n chessboard, and m is the size of the number of queens, right? So I'll just open up my slides here, one second, and I'll explain what this actually means. So for example, we have 8, 9, and this is the input over here. This is the rows, okay, and this is the columns, and what we're saying is for 8, 8, Q1 is placed. Okay, so let's just place 8, 8 at Q1, Q1 at 8, 8, we placed it. Second, yeah, so we placed 8, 8 at Q1, then 8, 5 is Q2. So if I go to 8, 5 is Q2, all right. 7, 6 is Q3. So I go 7, 6 is Q3. 6, 3 is Q4. So 6 and 3 is Q4. Okay. 5, 1 is Q5. 5, 1 is Q5. 3, 3 is Q6. 3, 3 is Q6. 3, 8 is Q7. 3, 8 is Q7. Yeah, 2, 7 is Q8, 2, 7 is Q8, and 1, 4 is Q9, 1, 4 is Q9. Okay, so now if I have to start with one particular queen, how can I go about killing all the other queens in the maximum possible way? Like what are the major paths that I can take, right? So I'll just take a couple of yeah. So let's take for example this one. Let's say I start with Q1. Okay, so I start with Q1, and actually let me just, so let's say I'm starting with Q1, right? So this is Q1. Where all can I go with Q1? I can go, if you all know how queens move, queens can move in any direction, laterally, so like horizontally, vertically, and even diagonally. So I could move here. Is there anywhere else? I could hit Q6 directly, and I could even go to Q7, right? So let's look at what are some possibilities. Yeah, so for example, if I go from Q1, I could probably, let's go to Q7 first, right? So I am going all the way here. One second. Yeah, so I go all the way to Q7. I killed off Q7. Then from Q7, I can kill off Q8. From Q8, I can go to Q4, right? So I can traverse all of this, and I can go Q4 as well, right? So becomes all of these. This is the distance I've traversed. So like this, Q4. From Q4, I could come back to Q2, right? That is one way of doing it. I could come back to Q2, and then I could go to Q3, right? Now from Q3, I could have gone to Q6 from here as well, but now the good thing is, from I covered Q2, I went to Q3. I can now, can I touch anything else? no, I can't really touch anything else. So I mean, I thought I could go to Q6. I can't really go to Q6. Can I go to, no, I can't go to Q9. I can't go to Q5 as well. In fact, is it possible to reach Q9 from anywhere else? Q9 is actually isolated, can't even be reached anywhere else, right? So what we have here is we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So we this is actually how many 6 queens have basically I started with this queen, I killed 5 queens, right? So I'm left with 4 queens overall at this point, right? I am left with 4 queens overall. Is there a better way? Can we have done something better? Let's start somewhere else and see. Well, my problem is I'm starting from Q1, I'm into Q2, I could go to Q4, Q6, Q7, Q8. Okay, let me think again. I can go, okay, let's not start with Q1 probably. We can go Q5, Q6, Q4, Q2, Q3, and no, I'm getting stuck at Q3 over here, right? Q7 and Q8 are connected, and I could start Q7, Q8, Q4, Q2, Q3. I again get stuck at Q3. But one thing I can do is I can do Q7, Q8, Q4, Q2, Q1. This is like a ring in itself. And Q4 is connected to Q6, which is connected to Q5, right? So if I can start this ring in a particular way. So for example, I go Q8, Q7, Q1, Q2, Q4, Q6, Q5, right? Then I will be left with how many? Yeah, what did I do again? Sorry, Q7, Q8, Q4, Q2, Q3, and I'm stuck at Q3 now, right? Ideally, I want to use Q4 to go to Q. Okay, I can start with Q5. Let me start with Q5, Q6, Q4, Q2, Q3, Q7, and then I can go to Q8 or Q1. That's up to me, right? That makes sense. So let me do that. 1 second. Yeah, I start with Q5. I go to Q6. From there, I go all the way down to Q4. Then from Q4, I make my way to Q2. Then I go to Q3. And from Q3, okay, did we make a mistake here? Oh, sorry, we should have gone Q8, Q7, Q1, Q2, and Q3, right? So we should have gone here. Yeah. So 1 second. Yeah. Sorry for that. Yeah. We'll go like this. So we'll go Q4. Now we'll go all the way to Q8. Right, we'll go to Q8, then we'll go to Q7. Now I have the possibility of going to Q1, right? I can go all the way to Q1 over here, right? And then I can go to Q2, and then I can go to Q3. So this way I have exhausted all the queens except for Q9, which is unreachable anyways, right? There's no way I could reach Q9 anyways. So so the thing is, I can't, like, for example, while I'm killing Q5 with Q6, I can't kill Q4 with Q8 while I'm doing that. The moment I pick up one queen, I should be able to, cross out all the other queens in one go, right? So I am allowed only one movement, and once I pick up a queen, I have to finish all the movements with that queen. I cannot use another queen after that, right? So this is what it looks like over here, all the way here, and then so on, and we come here, and then Q9 is the only one left, and we started with Q5. Q5 is the one left over here, right? So we have Q5 and Q9 remaining because we didn't really do anything with Q5 after that, right? We killed all of these ones, but we are left with Q5 over here. So the answer is, how many are we left with? The answer is we are left with 2. As mentioned over here, we are left only with 2, right? And there are multiple ways you can go, but as they have said, you could have started from they started with Q3 and they were able to finish off everything. We started with Q5, right? So we went the opposite of this. We start from Q5, Q6, Q4, Q8, Q7, Q1, Q2, Q3. They went the other way around, right? That's fine. What we are supposed to say is not which queens killed, rather how many queens are left on the board right now. Okay. Now this is one of those questions where you look at it and you think that it has something to do with graphs or backtracking. There is a graphs way of doing this, but I'll just show the backtracking way. Basically, what you're supposed to do, the thing that will come to everyone's minds is, basically from Q5, I can go, where can I go? I can only go to Q6, right? When I'm at Q6, I have a choice to make. Should I go to Q7 directly or should I go to Q4, right? Now, there is nothing inherent about Q7 or Q4 that will tell me where I should go. What I should do is I should try out both, okay? So there should be one path which says that, okay, I'm trying out Q4, okay? Which means that now that I'm going to Q8, okay, from Q4, when I'm trying out the best path for Q8, or rather, let me start again. I'm on Q5 at this point. I go to Q6, right? And then I'm saying I can go either to Q7 or I can go to Q4. Let's say I come to Q4, right? Now from Q4, there is how many places? I could go Q2, I could go Q8, and I could actually go Q6 as well, right? That's the problem, because I don't want to repeat, because Q6 has already been taken. But Q4 should know that Q6 has already been taken, right? That's the major catch of this problem, that for every queen you should know where all it can go, and choose and exhaust all of them. It's not that you would choose the best one, exhaust all of them, but return the output of, or return back, which is the maximum path that is possible from Q4. So for example, from Q5, the maximum path possible is the one that is possible from Q6. There's no other neighbors, right? So Q5, there is no other neighbor. So I'll say whatever the maximum path from Q6 plus 1, right? That's the maximum path. For Q6, it will be whatever is the maximum path from Q4 plus 1, or whatever is the maximum path from Q7 plus 1. So from Q4, I get either Q8 plus 1 or Q2 plus 1, right? Now when I'm at Q8 or I'm at Q4, I shouldn't go back. Like for example, at Q4, I shouldn't be thinking it's Q6 plus 1. Then I'll go in an infinite loop where Q6 will refer to Q4, Q4 will refer to Q6, and so on. So two things we automatically need to keep track of over here is, number one, who are the neighbors of a particular queen, and two, who is, or rather in my current path, have I already visited the previous queen or not? Okay, so that's what we're going to do, and that's the approach that we're going to take. For each queen, make all the neighbors, that is, store all of the neighbors that is possible, right? Or in graphs, you would call this the adjacency matrix. That is, for each queen, try to figure out what is the number of neighbors, or which are the neighbors. For each queen, try to form the longest path. So once you go from one neighbor to another neighbor, try to find the longest path from there. The answer is m minus longest path plus 1, which is very simple to understand. If there are 9 queens, okay, so there are 9 queens, the longest path is of 8 queens. That means that this one queen will finish off all the remaining queens. That means we'll have the longest path, that is 8. For this 8, we'll only have one queen left, right? So we'll do 9 minus 8, all those 8 queens are gone except for 1, plus 1. So 9 minus 8 is 1, plus 1 is 2, right? So that's how we get. So the answer would be that we find the longest path, and answer is m minus longest path plus 1, right? So now we are just left with how do we make all the neighbors and try to form the longest path. What we do is visit any of the neighbors. I'll show you how to make the neighbors. That's actually a simpler thing. But visit any neighbor to form the longest path. From that neighbor, try to form the longest path again, but don't visit the previously visited queens. So the easiest thing to do is maintain a set of which all are the queens that we have visited so far, and don't try to visit that again. You need not make a set. You can also make a string of the path so far and see that whether this queen has come in that path or not. That's also completely fine, right? I'll just move to the code for this one, because backtracking is very easily explained using the code. So let me just show that one itself. This is also a big code. It's not that it's a small code. It is quite a big code. Let me just come one by one. Right. I'll first explain the recursive one itself, and then we'll go to the next one. So for example, this is the recursive one over here, right? This is the recursive part. We have a particular queen. We have the grid that's given to us. This is the visited or not. That is, this is a set which tells what has been visited so far, and this is the adjacency of each queen. Okay. So how this queen has been stored, I'll come back to in a bit. So what basically, if I have visited a particular queen right now, I'm saying add that to my visited number of queens. So I added that now I am in this particular queen right now. I'm on this queen. Don't visit, as a part of this queen's path, don't visit this queen again. Okay. So what we say is, if this queen has no neighbors, so this is the base case, like our Q9 over there. If it has no neighbors after this, then just remove this particular part, right? Then we don't really get to this. That means we never actually visited this one. Go back, right? So there's nothing over here as such, right? There's only one path over here. But if we go to if there are certain neighbors over here and they have not been visited, okay? So if there are certain neighbors and they have not been visited, from that point try to find the maximum path. Whatever is the maximum path, from there add 1 to it. If that is greater than our current answer, update it. That's what we are doing, because we are going to try from multiple neighbors. I go to my first neighbor, it gives me a path of 3. I go to my next neighbor, it gives me a path of 4. So now I update that from my neighbors, the maximum path I can get is 4 plus 1, 5. Then I will go to the next one and see the maximum path is 2. I don't update myself now. That's what this is doing. And it will keep recursively going till I don't find any other place, or we have no other neighbors, right? So that's what we'll do. And the moment I am coming back from this queen, I will remove this particular queen from the visited set. Okay, so I'm adding myself, and the moment I come back from this queen, I say, okay, now this queen is free to be visited again, because we exhausted all of the queen's paths from this branch. Let's go from another branch, right? So that this is the recursive function. This is the one that's toughest to understand. So do take out your time, understand this code properly. The forming neighbors part, this is the part which it looks big, but it's actually pretty simple. All it's doing is for each queen, it's adding who are the neighbors of that queen. Okay, so basically what it's doing is it's checking who all can be the neighbors. It can be either in the same row, it can be in the same column, or it could be on the same diagonals. Now how many diagonals are there? For each position there are 4 diagonals. So that's why you'll actually get 8 conditions. This is for the, not actually more than 8. This is for the row backwards, this is row forwards. The other very important thing over here is when we are forming neighbors, we don't take all the neighbors. So for example, this is the neighbors, right? Let's say if I had over here a Q10, okay, just saying, right? So for Q6, Q10 is a neighbor, but Q7 is no longer a neighbor, because the moment I come to Q6, I can't directly go to Q7. So I will only take the first neighbor on the right side, and the first first queen on the right side, and the first queen on the left side, for the first queen on top, the first queen below. That's all I will take. I can't take all the queens in my same row. This is one mistake that most students did. Don't take all the queens. So even over here, let's say if there was some Q11, don't take all. The Q11 is not a neighbor of Q6, just like Q6 is not a neighbor of Q11. Q11 has only Q5, Q4, and that's it. No other neighbors as such, right, apart from that. Okay, so I hope you all understood that part. So that's what we're trying to do over here. We are trying to, so for example, here we are going backwards, here we're going forward, but the moment we find a neighbor, we break, right? So we're not going for each neighbor, we're just going for the nearest neighbor. Here we're going upwards in Y direction, here we're going downwards in Y direction. Here we are increasing by the southeast, we are increasing by the southeast diagonal. Here we are increasing in the it's still east, it's northeast. So we are doing northeast over here. Here we are doing west, we are doing northwest, and here we are doing southwest. Here we are doing northwest, and here we are doing southwest, right? So you can just check it out by yourself by just putting in the inputs. It's a fairly standard one. You must have all seen this question in 2D arrays. Find out all the nearest queens, or find out all of the elements on the diagonals that can be visited from this element. Okay, so if you don't, please go and learn a little bit of 2D arrays. You can do that on the Edist Code Vita course also. As you can see that all these concepts build up on each other. So if you're not good with your arrays and 2D arrays fundamentals, you'll not be able to crack the bigger problem. So this is where forming the adjacencies. Let's come to the main method, right? So here we're taking input, we're forming a grid with just hyphens, that is all the blank blank squares of the grid. Then here we are inputting every queen, and we are storing where that queen is, and we're putting it on the grid itself, right? Here we are forming the neighbors of it using the neighbors function, right? And for each queen, what we'll try to do is we'll try to form the maximum path from each queen. Okay, the maximum path from any queen is the one which we will take for answer, which will be m minus answer plus 1 is what we will take over here, right? And if we take this entire code and try to run it, let's see if that works out. It should. There's no reason why it shouldn't work out, but anyways, let's just try it out. Okay, let's just wait and see. And yeah, it is mission accomplished. Awesome. I hope you've all been sharing with your friends about this thing. Brag with your friends, show off to your friends that you've completed the course, completed the question. Right. So yeah, that's the approach that we want to take. Again, this is a backtracking approach. If you don't know backtracking, I would suggest you go and check the previous backtracking question, which was admin blues. I have explained backtracking in more detail over there. You can check that one out. It's also in the TCS Code Vita playlist. You can check that out over there. And that's mainly it. Try out all these questions. Just by looking at a question, you can say whether it's probably a backtracking question. Let me just try out backtracking. Could you have tried breadth first search over here? You could probably have. If you just kind of what we're kind of doing depth first search over here in a sense. So we're going for the depth of ones and then we're going to another one. Could you have done breadth first search? Probably, but here this is basically depth first search. For those of you who know graphs, for those of you who don't, I just want to say that you can just apply backtracking. It's the same algorithm. So yeah, once again, reminder that if you want to learn these concepts and you want to know more about it, check the Code Vita course over here. It's also available in the description below. And get the early bird discount, and stay tuned. We are going to have more videos on these daily challenges. Daily challenge 9 and daily challenge 10 solution is coming up, so do wait for that. Thanks everybody for joining in today. 17th July is a mock Vita, so please stay tuned for that. We will have certain videos coming up on that too. Thanks everybody for joining in today, and I'll see you all next time in day 9 and day 10's July daily challenges video, and in day 10 I'll also congratulate the overall winners. Thanks everybody, and I'll see you all next time.